Hi friends, this is Math 3.11, so Chapter 3, Lesson 11, Part 2. So if you haven't watched Part 1, go back and watch Part 1. This is Part 2. We're talking about pages 225 and 226. And we're talking about arrays and repeated addition and multiplication. So we finished page 224 together. And so now we're looking at 225. And again, when we are dealing with arrays, our rows are our groups. Okay? So, how many rows do we have here? 2. They already gave us that. 2 rows, and how many are in each row? 4. 2 rows of 4. And if we're going to write the multiplication number sentence, rows of just stands for the multiplication sign. So 2 rows of 4 equals how many in all? 8. Okay. Now for the addition number sentence. Remember, I count how many are in the row. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I write it down. So basically it's saying 2 4s. You're adding together 2 4s. And you get 8. So I want you to finish this page that way. Okay. And we have a couple of arrays on here that are square numbers. So I want you to see if you can figure out, maybe circle the numbers that are square numbers. Remember, that means they make a perfect square. Both of the factors are the same number. Same number of rows and columns. So I want you to finish this page. Make sure that you've written the multiplication number sentence for all of these. Okay, like I've done here. You have to have that. So make sure you've done that. And be careful. Circle your rows so you don't get confused like I did here. So go ahead, hit pause, finish up 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then we'll move on. Okay, let's move on to number 9, and this is a math on the spot. So you can hop on and watch Jeannie. She might do a better job at explaining this than I do. And she's more fun to watch, I'm sure. So anyway, let's take a look at this one. It says there are 6 photos on the wall. There are 2 photos in each row. How many rows of photos are there? Okay, there are 6 photos on the wall. Okay, so I'm going to get out 6 of my squares here. The colors don't matter. Okay, so I've got 6. And then it says there are 2 photos in each row. Okay, so remember, rows go across. So I can only have 2 photos in each row. Okay, so this would be 1 row, right? 2 photos. And I need to figure out, if I put all 6 of these row, how many rows am I going to have? So 6 photos, 2 photos in each row. Okay, here's 2 photos. Okay, here's 2 photos. Here's 2 photos. And then you've got to decide, all right, how many rows of photos are there? So I'm going to let you finish that on your own. Please write the multiplication number sentence and the repeated addition number sentence for each of these. I know we keep doing that over and over because there's a lot of it on the test, okay? There's a lot of that on the test, and for some reason, second graders really get confused with that. So that's why we are going to practice it over and over again. Now, our question is, how many rows of photos are there? Okay, so we're going to start with, there are blank rows of photos. So here we go. There are blank rows of photos. You're going to fill that in. Start with a capital letter and end with a period. Hit pause and finish that up. Then we're going to move on to 10. Here we have 10. About Mrs. Chen. Mrs. Chen makes 5 rows of 2 chairs and 2 rows of 3 chairs. How many chairs does Mrs. Chen use? So friends, we're not just making one array here. We're making 2 arrays. 2 arrays. So we have 5 rows of 2 chairs. Well, we can do that. Remember how I taught you to do that? 5 rows of 2 chairs. Let's do this first array. 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 rows. And we've got to put 2 chairs in each row. So let's do it. And I'm just going to use circles because it's easy. There we have it. We have 5 rows of 2 chairs. However, we're not done. She has more. Now we have 2 rows of 3 chairs. That is a separate array. So now I've got to do 2 rows with 3 chairs in each row. So let's do that. Let's do 2 rows. 1, 2. And we're going to put 3 chairs in each row. How many chairs does Mrs. Chen use? So they mean in all, how many chairs did she use? So you need to count up the chairs here, and you need to count up the chairs here, and then you need to add those 2 together. Okay? How many chairs does Mrs. Chen use? Well, let's answer that in a complete sentence. Mrs. Chen uses blank chairs, and you can put in all if you want to. Okay? So there we have it. Then what I want you to do is I want to see the addition number sentence for this array and the multiplication number sentence. And I want to see the addition number sentence and the multiplication number sentence for this array. You can do it. If you run out of room, you can write it over here. All right? Draw a little line, draw an arrow, and write that over here. Or just write small. Go ahead and hit pause if you need time to finish up. Number 11. Here we go. It says, find the number of counters in each row. Complete the number sentence to find the total number of counters. Well, that's easy. We know we always circle our rows. So you've got to decide what's going to go here, 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 and give us our total. And then your total number of counters. You don't need to answer this in a complete sentence because they didn't give us a question. But I do want you now to write the multiplication number sentence that goes with this. Remember what number goes here. We're our first factor, our second factor, and our product. So finish that up. I just love arrays and multiplication. I think they're so fun. Keep working hard. Watch the video again if you need to. I'll see you later.